A new Wordle puzzle is online. Click on the link to play.
Listening to the following video may give you clues. Please like and share the videos.
Vanishing glaciers and forests in Google Earth Day Doodle. The vanishing forests and coral bleaching of the Harz forest, and climate change are some of the images featured in Google's Earth Day Doodle.
It comes as Sir David Attenborough is named as the Environment Programme's Champion of the Earth. Sir David recently spoke at an UN Council session on climate change.
Google's Doodle comes as a timely reminder of just how urgent our climate action is. Time-lapse.
The Google Earth Day Doodle for 2022 features satellite images and time-lapses of disappearing glaciers and forests. The GIFs, which were taken by the Ocean Agency, show glacial retreat in Tanzania between 1986 and 2020 and coral bleaching in Australia.
The images were included in the doodle to illustrate the effect of climate change on the planet. This year, Earth Day is dedicated to protecting our environment and its people.
The doodle shows the effects of climate change in real-world locations, such as Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania and the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. It also depicts drought-stricken forests in Germany.
In addition to these global changes, the doodle includes a photo of coral bleaching on Lizard Island, which occurred between March and May 2016. The doodle also shows the Harz forests in Eland, Germany, where drought-stricken forests have been decimated.
4 regions in the world have been negatively affected by climate change. The photographs showcase the effects of global warming and the changing land use patterns.
In Eland, Germany, a glacier named the Furtwängler Glacier is rapidly retreating. These glaciers once covered the summit of Kilimanjaro, but the ice has since dissipated, leaving barren land.
Harz forests. The vanishing glaciers and forests in Google Earth Day Doodle are a stark reminder that climate change is already having a major impact on our planet.
The doodle depicts the disappearance of glaciers on Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania and the impact of drought on the Harz forest in Germany. Other time-lapse videos show coral bleaching on Lizard Island in Australia's Great Barrier Reef and melting ice in the Sermersooq Fjord in Greenland.
These time-lapse videos were created from satellite imagery from Google Earth and photographs provided by the Ocean Agency. Doodle also highlights other signs of climate change and a growing number of endangered species.
The Great Barrier Reef, a pristine coral formation in the northern waters of Australia, went through its 6th mass bleaching event in March. Meanwhile, in Germany, forests in the Harz region have lost 30% of their coverage in the last 20 years.
The images are accompanied by a brief text explaining the cause of the bleaching. Doodle highlights several alarming trends.
For example, the Sermersooq Glacier will disappear in 2020, while the Mount Kilimanjaro Glacier will disappear by 2022.
The doodle also depicts the devastation of the Great Barrier Reef's Lizard Island in 1 year. Finally, the vanishing glaciers and forests in Google Earth Day Doodle reveal the devastation of our planet's ecosystems and temperatures.
Mount Kilimanjaro. The disappearance of glaciers from the top of Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania is a major cause of concern for many people.
Global warming and a decline in snowfall are both contributing factors. Moreover, human activity is also a factor in glacier retreat.
As a result, the glaciers will no longer exist by 2020. But there is still hope. Scientists are working to find a solution.
The company chose to depict 4 landscapes affected by climate change in its Google Earth Day Doodle for 2022. In addition to the disappearing forests of Mount Kilimanjaro, the 2022 Google Doodle will also feature the vanishing glaciers forests of Sermersooq in Greenland from 2000 to 2020.
A similar Google Earth Doodle will highlight the disappearing forests of the Harz Mountains in Eland, Germany. As a result of climate change, the Mount Kilimanjaro's glaciers have lost up to 90% of their ice.
Due to this, snowfall at the mountain's summits may disappear entirely within 25 years. Meanwhile, in Germany, spruce forests have suffered due to drought and beetle infestation.
Meanwhile, the summer temperatures have been extremely hot. Last year was the hottest ever recorded by the Europeans. New Zealand glaciers.
The image of the rapidly melting glaciers in New Zealand's Southern Alps is part of a Google Earth Day Doodle, which aims to highlight the issue of climate change. The glaciers in New Zealand are some of the oldest and largest in the world, and they are rapidly losing ice.
In fact, in the last 15 years, the melting of some glaciers has accelerated, with almost no ice left in the area. Scientists from UNEP's climate change program have estimated that 1/3 of the country's ice and snow has disappeared.
The glaciers in New Zealand are shrinking considerably and have almost disappeared. Earth 2022 Google Earth Day Doodle is a collection of 4 GIFs, each made from photographs and satellite imagery, and rotates throughout the day.
The images show various impacts of climate change on our planet. They show the melting of glaciers in Greenland and Tanzania, and the gradual deforestation of forests in Germany and Eland.
Meanwhile, the forests of New Zealand are disappearing. The new doodle also highlights the role of technology in the fight against climate change.
Time-lapse satellite images will be displayed on Google's homepage for several hours. Clicking on one of the images will take you to a page about climate change.
Hundreds of thousands of people worldwide will be able to see the images for themselves. Google hopes to raise global awareness of climate change through this campaign.
Tree plantations. The total energy company Total Energies has plans to plant trees on 40,000 hectares of the Buteke Plateau in the Republic of Congo.
The area is a rolling mix of wooded savanna and patches of denser forest. In 20 years, the project is expected to sequester 10 million tons of carbon dioxide.
To reach net zero carbon emissions, companies must remove as much carbon as they release. Total Energies is turning to tree plantations as a means to reach net zero carbon emissions.
The company is planning to selectively log acacia species in the Big Plateau, and the plantation is expected to last for 20 years. Chalfa, a new study, has revealed that tree plantations do not help the planet sequester carbon. The global community should be wary.
The growing global demand for tree plantations could result in increased greenhouse gas emissions and the loss of natural forests. The study also suggests that the reforestation campaigns of Chile may backfire by harming biodiversity and reducing carbon sequestration.
However, some people support tree planting campaigns and argue that the policy is the right one. In addition to promoting tree plantations, the Bond Challenge aims to prevent further deforestation.
Currently, the Bond Challenge is a global initiative to restore forests. Unlike natural forests, which have diverse species, monoculture tree plantations have limited potential for carbon sequestration, habitat creation, and erosion control.
And when they do not restore natural forests, they can replace local ecosystems, which sustain wildlife and human life. Impact of climate change.
The disappearance of glaciers is one of the most visible signs of ecosystem change. The melted snowpack allows for the establishment of high-elevation trees, but decreases the diversity of herbaceous plants in the open areas.
The melting of glaciers also alters the cold air drainage in glaciated basins, increasing stream temperatures and affecting temperature-sensitive aquatic invertebrates. Glacier retreat provides new areas for plant colonization and alters stream sediment transport.
Scientists have measured the amount of water melting in the world's ice sheets and have estimated that global warming is doubling the amount of water in ice cores from 4 centuries ago. This suggests that the amount of water melting on Mt.
Hunter glaciers is twice as much as it was prior to 1850, and the glaciers are rising twice as fast as the global average. Ultimately, these changes are threatening to the existence of millions of people.
A simple linear temperature extrapolation scenario shows that the extent of vegetation in glaciers and mountain forests increases by approximately 20 meters per decade in the next few decades. However, the rate of vegetation expansion might be slower than that.
Moreover, the resulting ash on the surface would increase temperatures by about 2.7. Therefore, the impacts of climate change on glaciers and forests may be underestimated.